Hi everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So on today's video we are going to be doing another random pickups video, and in today's video we've got a whole load of pickups that have been picked up from various locations. I've got a flea market, eBay, I think there's an Amazon in there somewhere as well, charity shop, and actually I've got the first bits that we're going to go through, and I'll dive straight into them now. I actually picked these up from a storage unit. So I got a whole stack of games. We've got 6 games, they're all PC games. And what I actually did is back in November of last year, I actually picked up a storage unit. So I bought a storage unit where the owner had basically abandoned it, and the storage centre decided to sell it on. And while I was sorting through it, a lot of it was mainly bought for resale. So I was going through everything in there. And as I was going through, I found a load of PC games, and I don't have any of them in the collection, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to add them in. So the first one that we've got is Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. I've definitely played this one. I remember playing it, and yeah, I thought the Soldier of... I haven't played it recently, so all of these PC games I haven't got any footage for. Purely because I haven't got a PC that will actually play these at the moment. I've got one that I'm in the process of building, but yeah, I wasn't able to get it up and running in time. So obviously all of these are, none of these are big box as well, they're all the DVD cases. But Soldier of Fortune goes for £1 at CEX, £4.50 on eBay. And I have to say, I did really, if I remember rightly, this was a really good game back when I played it. I think it's 2002, so yeah, not as old as I thought it was actually. So yeah, that is the first game that we got. Second game I've got no clue about, because this is Battlefield 1942 Road to Rome. This is an expansion pack for Battlefield 1942, and yeah, as I say, never played, have I played any of the Battlefield games? I might have played one at, I was at an Xbox launch event for the Xbox One, and I think I played Battlefield there, whatever version of Battlefield it was. But yeah, none of the older ones I've played. This one goes for 50p at CEX, $3.50 on eBay. Next game I have definitely played, and I've played it in spades, and that is Grand Theft Auto 4. This time it is on the PC. I've never played it on the PC, I will add. I think it was always PS3 was where I played this. So obviously PS3 was my main console when this came out, and yeah, just went through and played it. Yeah, spent God knows how long on it. So this one goes for £5 at CEX, £8 on eBay. What I will say as well is all of these PC games, they are complete. So they've all got manuals. Grand Theft Auto's got the maps. Yeah, they're all in brilliant condition. Next up, we've got Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Once again, Medal of Honor games I've never really played. Back when these sort of games were being released, it was the Call of Duties that I was playing sort of sporadically. I think I remember playing the very first Call of Duty on a friend's console, but it wasn't until the sort of PS3 era with Modern Warfare that I started playing Call of Duty games. As you would have seen from the last video, that's not the case really anymore. I think the last Call of Duty that I actually sat down and played all the way through was the future one with Kevin Spacey, and I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, Medal of Honor, that goes for 50p at CEX, £3 on eBay. And then we've got 2 more left. So we've got IL2 Forgotten Battles. So this is a flight simulator with sort of old type of sort of warplanes. This one goes for 50p at CEX, £3 on eBay. And then the last one is a game that I've seen before, never played it, so know nothing about it. It's Project IGI. Looking at it, it looks like your sort of type of Metal Gear Solid sort of stealth game. The tagline on the back: think your way in, shoot your way out. So yeah, it's another one to add to the collection. I will probably play it at some point. Project IGI goes for $150 at CEX and £7 on eBay. Then next up we've got a Saturn games. I've not actually picked up any games for the Saturn in quite a while. I do have to say, I love my Saturn. I love any chance I get to play on the Saturn. I absolutely love it. So capturing the footage for this was really enjoyable. And it is a game that I've been wanting to pick up actually, because it is a game called Fighting Vipers. And this is I watch a lot of other creators' channels, all of them sort of talking about like top Saturn games and top Xbox games, all of that sort of stuff. Just a lot of it is to sort of get some ideas and to have a look at some games that maybe aren't on my radar at the moment. This was definitely one of them. And I have to say, capturing the footage for this part of the video, I had so much fun. I love fighting games anyway. So yeah, this game was just really enjoyed it, and it is a game that I am definitely going to be picking back up. I will say it isn't the top fighting game that I've got on the Saturn. I think that is definitely going to go to Dead or Alive. I'm trying to think what other fighting games I've got. Obviously I've got Virtual Fighter. I think I've got a boxing game on there as well. Yeah, I have. I've got quite a few Saturn games, Saturn fighting games. But yeah, so I picked this one up. This one actually come from eBay. Once again, it is complete. Paid $14.99 off eBay. It goes for £12 at CEX and on average £15 on eBay. Then next up we've got Jurassic Park Operation Genesis on the Xbox. Now this was, I've already got a couple of copies of this. I've already got it on the PC, which was my original copy from when it first released. I've also got the PS2 version, and then I wanted to pick up the Xbox version because, if I remember rightly, I think in the US, not so much over here, but in the US this is quite a sought after game. So yeah, wanted to pick it up just as well. Then I've got all three versions of it as well, because it is a really good game. Obviously it is a Jurassic Park sort of building and management simulator, and yeah, if you haven't had a chance to play it and you get the opportunity, definitely have a go, because it is so much fun. So for Operation Genesis we paid £17 and 4p. It goes for on average £15 at CEX and £20 on eBay. And then, right, so the next thing, this is going to be an accessory that I've been after for absolutely ages. So when was it? It was about 6 months ago. One of my random pickup videos that I put out, I was trying to get hold of a controller. Now this controller is for the PlayStation 1, and it's a controller called the Dual Analog. It was essentially the first version of the DualShock. It wasn't released in PAL regions. It was it was more popular over in Japan, but I also believe it did see the light of day over in the US. And it's one that I've been after, because if I can get hold of that, it is going to allow me to complete the controller set for the original PlayStation. But every time I order this controller, it just doesn't work out. So the first one that I ordered from eBay, the seller had a picture of the correct controller and everything on the listing, sent me the DualShock. I then went to one of the CEX stores near me that looked online, that said that it had it in stock. Got there, they were like, no, can't find it. So I was like, right, fair enough. So I then decided to order it off the website, and then once that arrived, they then sent me a DualShock again. So that went back as well. And then a little while ago, I was just flicking around at eBay and decided to have another look to see if I could find one. So once again, jumped on eBay, managed to find one for £25. and then sat and waited and waited and waited and then it finally showed up, opened the box, only to be greeted with another DualShock controller. So once again that went back, but then I found a listing where it was just a normal photo, so a photo that someone would have taken in their living room. You had carpet in the background of the actual controller. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this one a go. Hopefully this will be the right one. And it is. So I finally have the dual analog controller in the collection. I am so chuffed. It has been such a battle to try and get this controller. But yeah, so pick this one up. It is in impeccable condition. It doesn't even look like it's even been used. So yeah, really happy with the condition on this one. Paid £20 for it. CEX have got it listed for 10, but every time I've spoke to CEX about this controller, that price, it's always the DualShock they end up pulling out. So yeah, I'm sort of discarding the CEX price for this one. But on eBay, on average, they run for about £25. That's the average sort of listing, both active and sold. But as I say, I managed to get this one for 20. I think I actually sent an offer for this one, and they accepted the offer. But yeah, really happy to finally have that one in the collection, and yeah, tick off the PlayStation controller setup. So I've now got all 4 controllers. I've got the standard PlayStation controller, I've got the dual analog, the DualShock, and then the PS1 branded DualShock as well. Next up, we're going to move on to a console. So one of the consoles that I had on my hit list for this year was the Master System. So I managed to pick up a Master System 2 a little while ago, and then once it arrived, I think when I originally ordered it, it was listed as 40, which essentially it was just untested. It arrived, I hooked it up, and it all worked fine. Then I've got a couple of saved searches on eBay, and one of them is for 40 consoles, and I got one of the emails through, and it come with this console, and it is another Master System 2. So once again, it was listed as 40. And I was watching it, I was like, if it goes cheap enough, I'll probably pick it up. But the thing that really sort of drew me to this, obviously, once again, it was sold as 40. It does works 100%, which is really good. But it come with the charger, the RF cable, the controller. It also come with the control stick, which is not something I've got in the collection yet. So really chuffed to have that in the collection. But what also made this an absolutely brilliant pickup was that this is the Alex the Kid model. So the other Master System that we bought was the Sonic, had the Sonic the Hedgehog game built in. This has got the Alex the Kid built in. And yeah, I wanted to get this one so that I had both variants of that. So the only one that I'm actually missing now is the Mark 1, which I am going to keep my eye out for. Fingers crossed I'm going to be able to find one of them soon enough, because yeah, really want to get them, and then I've got the full Master System set. That will be absolutely brilliant, considering that I was aiming to just get a Master System in the collection. To get all 3 of the main variants of the Master System would be absolutely brilliant. So with this one, as I say, it's got the Alex Kid built in. It comes with all the cables, the control stick. Paid £34 for this off eBay. Looking it up online, the console will go for £60 at CEX, and on average about £50 in this condition on eBay. So yeah, really chuffed with this, and yeah, looking forward to capturing footage from some more Master System games. So yeah, obviously we had a batch that we picked up a little while ago from the market, so I was able to capture that footage on my other Master System. So yeah, looking forward. There's a couple of games that I really want to pick up and that I'm looking forward to playing myself. Then next up, right, so I went, there's a place that I've been to a couple of times. It's down in Ramsgate in Kent, and it's a place called Petticoat Lane, and the best way to describe it is it's like a flea market. So it's basically like a big warehouse. They've divided it up into little booths that people can rent and sell stuff in. So just like your typical American flea market, it's the only one that I've ever seen in the UK. And any time I get a chance to go, I tend to pop in there. Most of the time I just end up looking around, don't really find anything, because it's a lot of the sellers in there are resellers, so it can be very expensive in there. But I went to a Manston boot fair recently, and they actually decided to move it out of the hangar and onto the runway, but they decided to do it on a day where it was absolutely steaming it down with rain. And essentially I think the boot fair lasted all of about half an hour before everyone said, no, I've had enough, let's go. So I decided to pop down to Ramsgate and yeah, go and have a look in Petticoat Lane. And while I was there, I found a Hot Wheels. So we've got the Super Mario Kart Hot Wheels, brand new and sealed, and yeah, in really good condition. To be quite honest, the reason that I picked it up is because it just looks cool. No other reason for that than that. So looking it up online, oh no, sorry, we paid £3 for it. Looking it up on eBay, it goes for on average about £6. So not a massive saving, but still, it's probably something I'll probably throw up on the Nintendo shelf, just opposite the RC Mario Kart that we've got up there. Then we dive back into the games, and the first game that we've got is actually one that I got that same day that I went there, because I actually met one of the sellers there. He wasn't selling on that day, but I did end up sort of picking up some bits from him. And yeah, so it was a PS4 game, and it is Shadow of Mordor, the Game of the Year edition. Now I think I've got the normal copy of Shadow of Mordor. Pretty sure. I'm not sure what console I've got it on, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation. But yeah, just never played them. So I've got it in the collection, never had a chance to play it. And I played this, obviously capturing the footage on the video that you're seeing. And I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I've not really played any of the Lord of the Rings games. I think I might have played one on the PS2 at one point. Didn't think much of it. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this. And it is a game that I am going to pick back up. I think I played it on my PS5, so it's going to be easy for me to pop the disc in and play it for a bit more. What did we pay? We paid £1 for that one. Goes for £6 at CEX and £8 on eBay. So yeah, another really good pickup. Then I popped to one of my local charity shops. It's the same charity shop that I got the bundle of consoles from a little while back. And while I was having a look, they had a couple of Wii games that I hadn't seen before or didn't have in the collection, so I decided to pick them up. The first one we've got is Movie Studios Party. This looks like sort of there's 20 different games and all sort of small party games. I'm assuming based around movies. Yeah, I will admit I haven't played this one yet. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to play either of the two Wii games that we've got here. Just because I didn't have time to get it set up and get the footage recorded. But so with that one we paid £1 for that one. Goes for 75p at CEX, £5 on eBay. And then the other one that we picked up was Big Brain Academy for the Wii. That one goes for sorry, we paid £1 for that one, £1 at CEX and £5 on eBay again. So yeah, with the Wii games, I tend to pick up ones if they look interesting now. I've got what, 3 rows. So I've got a shelf that's doubled and then a single row underneath that. I'll be honest, I don't really play the Wii a lot. Very rarely get it out if I do. I don't know. I don't like the movement. If you could play a lot of the games with a controller, I probably would play it a bit more, because there are some really good games on there. But it is just the controllers that I'm not a big fan of. So moving on, we've got a Amazon pickup this time, and this was a brand new game when I got it. But the reason I got it is actually Little wanted to get it, so I'd also seen it and thought it was a really good game, or looked really interesting, and that is Unpacking. So I actually managed to get this. This is a limited run game. This was one. Basically, I think I got an email through from Limited Run saying about how they were selling certain games through Amazon. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll jump on and have a look. So I jumped on Amazon UK, and some of them come up. Now they were, I believe they did come from the US, but they were a lot cheaper than if we picked it up from eBay. So yeah, got Unpacking, and I will admit, you'll see the footage of me playing it, and this is another game that I really enjoyed. Probably plays into my OCD a bit, but yeah, really enjoyed playing it. I know that the Little one went through it, and I gave it to them. They brought it back in, I think it was the following day or maybe the day after that. And I was like, oh, you finished with it? And I'm like, yeah, I've completed it. Okay. So yeah, I've only played the first level of it, but yeah, it was definitely a game that I probably will pick up. It's actually the best way to describe it. It's probably a game to play when you've had a god-awful day and you just want something that you can just switch off to, put your headphones on and play. This will be your ideal game. So we paid £37.21 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for £55 on eBay. So yeah, a really big saving on that one, so that's really good. The next game that we've got is a Wii U game that I picked up from eBay, but it is a brand new game, so that's good. And it is Mighty Number 9. So I've seen loads of people talk about this online. Obviously this was originally crowdfunded, and yeah, I wanted to play it. So I will admit, so obviously this one is sealed, and I am going to keep this, probably going to keep this sealed, because the footage that you're seeing was actually captured on, I believe it was my Xbox. No, it wasn't. It was my PlayStation, because I'd actually downloaded it on my PlayStation, completely forgot that I had it. So I thought, instead of opening this and setting up the Wii U, I'd capture it on the PlayStation and just use the footage there. But yeah, obviously it is a sort of successor to Mega Man. I'll be honest, I've never played any of the Mega Mans. I've not got any in the collection. Actually, say that though, I tell a lie, I have. I've got one on the Wii. I can't remember what one it was called. Mega Man Network Transmission. That was it. But I've never played it. That was one that I actually picked up quite recently from Glenn. But yeah, I played this. I really enjoyed it. Once again, I think I only put about 10 minutes into it. But yeah, definitely a game that I will sort of pick up again at some time. So we paid £15.48 for that on eBay. On eBay. And on average it goes for about £16 on eBay in sort of new and sealed condition. So yeah, not too bad there. Then the last game for today, we've got another accessory and another console to go through before we wrap up. But the last game that we've got is on Xbox. It's another eBay pickup, and it is Outlaw Volleyball. So I think this sort of flagged up. I was searching for one thing, or I might have had an email or something, and this come up. So I had a look on it, and it was going cheap. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And I have to say, it's how to best describe this. It's my kind of offensive, I'll definitely say that. But visually, it's a really, really good looking game. I had some problems with it because when I put it in my tried to play it on the original Xbox, it just completely glitched out. I don't think I've saved the footage for this. But yeah, it was flickering, it was losing colour, it was just awful. But then I looked it up, found out that you could play it on the 360. So the footage that I captured for it is on the 360. And yeah, it's a really good looking game. The only problem with it is the AI in it is atrocious. So the match that I played, so I actually played a full match. It was 1st to 15. And I think out of those 15 points, so I won the match 15-0. And out of those 15 points, I won, or I scored the point once. 14 of those points were the AI either hitting the ball to the ground, hitting the net, hitting it out. It was just literally, at one point, I actually put the controller down for about two or three rounds, and I just left it, and I still won the points. So yeah, it's such a shame, because if the AI was just a bit better on it, it would have been an absolutely brilliant game. It would have been such a laugh to play. So yeah, really disappointed with that actually. But we paid £8 for it. Goes for £1 at CEX, which after playing it I can understand. And then on average goes for about £10 on eBay. So yeah, as I say, really disappointed with that. It could have been a really good game. Just really let down by the AI. Then next up we've got another accessory. So this one was picked up at the same time as the Wii games from my local charity shop. And it is a PS3 Logitech steering wheel. So this is the Logitech Driving Force GT racing wheel. It's for the PS3. It does come with the pedal set as well. So yeah, I saw it was going cheap, so I decided to pick it up. Paid £5 for it. Didn't quite realise what this actually sells for. So looking it up online, it goes for £60 at CEX, £75 on eBay. So for £5, that was an absolutely monumental pickup. And yeah, it will probably be something that I'll get out if I'm playing racing games on the PS3. But in general, it probably won't get used a lot, because I have got racing seat and wheel. The wheel that I've got is for the Xbox One, so I can use it with my Series X. But yeah, other than that, I don't get it out too often because it's such a pain to get set up, and I don't have the room to have the steering wheel, the sort of seat and the setup constantly set up. So it's a bit of a shame. And then our last pickup for today was a console, and this is a console that, once again, it's another one that I didn't really have on my radar to pick up. But obviously with some of the recent pickups that I've been making with with consoles that I wasn't really looking at, this sort of dropped into my feed as well, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna grab it. And it is a Sega SG-1000 Mark II. So for those of you that don't know, Sega actually released 3 consoles over in Japan before the Master System ever released in the West or even in Japan. And those consoles were called the SG-1000. So you've got the SG-1000, you've got the SG-1002, which is this one, and then you've got the Mark III as well, which is essentially Japan's version of the Master System. It's exactly the same as the Mark I Master System, but what they did do is they did later release the sort of the Mark I design over in Japan, but that was actually after it was released in the PAL regions and the US. But yeah, I've been wanting an SG-1000 because obviously it is the first Sega console. And I saw this one come up. It's marked as faulty, and with it being marked as faulty, I'm actually going to be asking for a bit of help on this one. So I have plugged it in. I've not got a game at the moment. I have got to pick up a game for it, but I've plugged it in and tried turning it on. It turns on, but I cannot get a signal from it. Now, I know why I can't get a signal for it. So the way that I normally capture footage on the RF only system, so like the Master System, the Atari 2600, the Spectrum when I've tried them, I actually have an old VHS, and what I do is I've got a SCART to component cable, and that component cable then goes into a converter which converts it to HDMI, which then goes into my capture card, which then goes into my PC. Yeah, very convoluted, but it works. But obviously with this being a Japanese RF only console, it won't work with a PAL VHS. So this is actually a bit of a question to everyone out there. If you have any of you dabbled in Japanese consoles here in the UK, and if so, how have you set them up on a TV? Because the big thing for me, and it is the case with all of the consoles that I've got, especially the first type of every console, I want it to stay original. So I know that I could go out and I could do a composite mod, but I don't want to do it. I want it to stay original. So has anyone out there managed to output an RF signal from a Japanese console to a PAL TV? If you have, leave me a comment down below, because yeah, I'd really love to get this working. It is, yeah, I do want to get both the other SG-1000s, but that is probably something for another time. But until I can get this working, it's not something I'm really going to look at too hard. But with this, obviously it was labelled as faulty, but I think it is purely because where it's a different RF signal, they couldn't get a signal on the TV, so they've listed it as faulty. I'm 99% sure this is going to work. As soon as we can solve out that signal problem, we'll be able to get it working. So I paid $49.99 for it. Looking it up online, it goes for, in working condition, £110. Now that £110 does include the controller that goes with it. I don't have one of those controllers. At the moment I'll be using a Master System controller on it, but I will look to get one at some point. But from what I've seen, they can go quite expensive. It can go about 50 quid on their own just for the controller. So yeah, watch this space. But yeah, so that is the last pickup for today. As I say, if anyone can help me get it up and running on a PAL TV, I would be so grateful. But that is also going to wrap up the pickups for today. So before we wrap up the video, let's quickly run through the totals. So our total spend was £207.71. If we picked everything up that we could from CEX, we were looking at a total price of £174.75. That doesn't include the SG-1000, Mighty No. 9, unpacking, and the Hot Wheels. So not a massive amount excluded from the CEX price today, which is really good. And then if we picked everything up from eBay, we would be looking at a total price of £429. So yeah, once again, a massive saving there. Really happy with everything that we've picked up. So that is going to wrap up today's video. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, bye!